What is up, everybody? It is us. We are the Triple Clowns, and today I'm excited to bring back, and obviously, as you can tell, we're doing the Triple Clowns Time Machine, and we're going to 1977, Tom.
Wow.
1977.
Back.
And we're going to talk about Seattle Slew. So, and I want to tell everybody, if you remember this, fantastic. Relive it with us. If you don't remember this, watch it. These are the things we're trying to teach people with the history of the game, Tom. Are we excited about this or what?
Well, that's why we call it the Forgotten Champion. I think if this horse won, could you imagine if this horse won the Triple Crown in like 1990? How big it would be? He was sandwiched between two other Triple Crown champions, and that's why we call him the Forgotten Champion.
Absolutely. And you know what? It is weird. There's so many dynamics of this horse, the more research I did. And, I hope everybody enjoys it. This is what we're doing. We're trying to entertain. We're trying to give you a little bit of history instead of just yelling out numbers and watching them run around the track. We need to bring this to the table. So subscribe, share it, leave a comment. We'll talk about comments you can leave later on, but just do it. But Tom, so we're in 1977 now.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, weren't you? What were you doing at that point? 1977. Was this like your second year as a junior in high school? Possibly. Is that what it was? Or the third year?
Oh, you know it, man. I was 2 or 3, but I was at the OTB in Philly with my old man.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was too, probably in diapers and at the OTB. I don't really remember much of it, but I mean, listen, 1977. Let's talk about it real quick. Let's get everybody into the mood and the mindset. We had a peanut farmer as a president and Jimmy Carter. Imagine that.
Oh, first thing I think about Jimmy Carter is Billy Beer. Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, think about that real quick. We had a president's brother had his own beer. Kind of cool. You got to admit that.
Yeah. I mean, 77, a lot of good stuff. I mean, so much good stuff going on, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, look at it. Atlantic City, 1977 becomes, the place outside of Vegas that gambling starts. Atlantic City making a big push near you, Tom, 1977. That's what was going on.
Of course you go to gambling. For the more sophisticated of us, Apple Computer was the first actually incorporated in 1977.
Yeah. You still don't know how to operate that, Tom, a computer. That is the computer, the IBM, the Apple. I'm pretty sure you don't know how you're doing it. But 1977, let's go.
But hey, listen, we had Rocky. I mean, Rocky, I believe, won the Best Picture that year.
Yeah, Smoking the Bandit was that year, I believe, and Star Wars. Shout out to all the Star Wars fans out there. We know we have a lot of those. But what a great year.
Including our own AJ Ryder. My favorite guy, and someone who has stakes races named after died. Both Elvis and Bing Crosby died in 1977.
You know what, Tom, you're disappointing me because 1977 also a man died, Groucho Marx. I mean, day of the races. Come on, man. Come on. I thought better of you than that.
On the happier news, so we can stop talking about death. 1977 was also the year where the high five was invented by none other than Dusty Baker and Glenn Burke. Kind of cool.
Wow. That is kind of cool. And that's weird that they really went back to that. I wonder where that comes from, the high five. All I think about is Dusty Baker when, I think his grandson or something almost got run over in the World Series. Remember that? Somebody grabbed him.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like he did. Wow, the high five, huh? Interesting. Lots of cool stuff in 77. But I think we're gonna have to talk about the coolest thing in horse racing in 1977.
Well, yeah. Well, we are two wild and crazy guys.
Nice Saturday Night Live reference right there. Steve Martin and Dan Aykroyd, right? Yep. Nice. I like it. Let's get into it, Tom. So everybody out there, we're going to talk Seattle Slew, guys. And leave a comment below. What was your favorite thing about 1977 or something we forgot or anything like that? We're going to get into it. I'm excited, Tom. Seattle Slew. The year is 1977. And Slew Mania is spreading faster than COVID in an election year. And how could it not be? Seattle Slew is coming off a 3-for-3 2-year-old campaign that earned him 2-year-old Horse of the Year honors. He also was purchased for a mere $17,500 by an ex-flight attendant, a lumberman, a vet, and a vet's wife. He was trained by a friend of the owner's that was an ex-steeplechase rider, ridden by a French jockey that was abused as a child in a Catholic secondary school, and his career was interrupted by having to join the army. A horse truly owned, trained, and ridden by the everyman. A horse that was also nicknamed Baby Huey due to his tall size and awkwardness. All of this was a recipe for people to fall in love with the imperfect son of bold reasoning. There it is, Tom. Let's talk about it right away. How would you not like this horse? I think we said it best.
You did. You did. The everyman. And one thing, I love digging into these, everything like this. The everyman with the owner. One thing I always wonder, what does silks? Why is this color? Why is it that color? Simple answer. Well, they had purple. I'm sorry, why they had yellow and black on Seattle Slew's silks?
Why is that? I figured maybe, I don't know. Are they a Bruins fan? A Steeler fan?
No,
I don't know.
no,
Bumblebee. Maybe they're a fan of bees. Bumblebees. No?
Simplest reason, man. It was so it could be easily spotted out of the grandstand. Just again, to get to the point of an everyman, it's not all these fancy colors or anything. Hey, I want to see my horse from the grandstand. You can't not like these.
It was easy to see him at this point because he was the one in front, and he could have been wearing anything. But it is true. It is true with the sport, and so let's put ourselves here while we get into Slew Mania. This horse is 3 for 3. That's pretty lightly raced back then. Wins 2-year-old a year with 3 races. I know nowadays that's a lot, but it wasn't then. Comes off. They have a plan for him, and the horse is everyman. He's taking some heat for it. You know, they don't like that. And the worst part is they still don't. The elitists ruin racing, and they still do. And you're talking about a horse who's now 3 for 3. You got to be voting for Baby Huey, the big dopey horse with a hoof that was turned a little bit to the right. I mean, and just how he won. I'm on board. If I'm there, I'm on board with this horse. I think he would be the biggest rock star. They're not chanting, let's go Chuck. Not the same type of people that they keep bringing up things about. We're talking Slew Mania's real deal. I'm excited. 3 preps coming up. Let's get into it, Tom. Team Slew aimed for the Kentucky Derby at the start of the year, and the team hoped the rest of the pieces would just fall into place. This team decided to run in only 3 preps for the Derby, in which at the time was not many. His first of the 3 prep races was at Hialeah Racetrack on March 9th. So, let's take a look.
They're off. Pete Hovey on the outside. White Rammer moves up for the lead. Seattle Slew into the rail with Irish Connection and AJ Raffles moving up.
Did they say AJ Ryder?
You know, when our friend AJ sees us, he's going to think that he was named after a horse.
Yeah, well, that would make sense. Let's move on. And there he is on the rail, moving up, I guess, right here. Let's watch.
Come back to Depth Finder. They move away down the back stretch. White Rammer and Seattle Slew. Between them, Depth Finder is 3rd. Irish Connection 4th. Smashing Native on the outside 5th. AJ Raffles is 6th. Then we come back 2 lengths. Pete's Hubby and the trailer is Stalking Occasion. As they move a half-mile pull at Seattle Slew by ahead. White Rammer right alongside 2nd.
Okay, right here, just real quick. White Rammer looks like he wants to like quarter horse, and Seattle Slew's just like having none of it. Like you're not gonna go buy him.
Just get out of here, son.
Yeah, just like almost like just slapping him to the side, just being like, no. Let's watch.
There's a gap of 3 lengths. Smashing Native is 3rd. Depth Finder 4th. Irish Connection 5th. AJ Raffles, Pete's Hubby, and the trailer Stalking Occasion. They move midway on the turn with Seattle Slew opening up 2 lengths. White Rammer is 2nd. There's a gap of 8 lengths. Smashing Native is 3rd. Pete's Hubby is 4th. Depth Finder 5th. They move to the top of the stretch. Seattle Slew shows the way by 2.5 lengths. White Rammer is 2nd. Smashing Native is 3rd. Pete's Hubby on the outside 4th. Now with a 16th of a mile to go, it's Seattle Slew showing the way by 4 lengths. Wait.
Now, do you notice he's just looking around? Like, just this is like a workout for this horse. I mean, it was an allowance race. I don't believe it was a stakes
turn on the
race.
afterburners.
Yeah.
Rammer is second, Smashing Native third.
Yeah, Smashing Native is coming on with like his hair on fire, but Seattle didn't even break a sweat. And how much can I say I love watching races from Hialeah?
You know,
boy, do I miss that track.
Yeah, I mean, what a great track, and we have it coming up right after this because he's going to run another race. That was an allowance race, I believe, but you just see even this pure size compared to the other horses, how much bigger his stride was, how much bigger he was. Like, and he just seemed to he didn't want to give up that lead.
Same age,
yeah,
but he was like the biggest kid in class. He was a kid that was taller than everybody else in his class, and said, "Hey, let's do it, kids."
Yeah, he really did. So let's move on. Seattle Slew's second prep race was later that month at Hialeah Racetrack again, where he ran in the Flamingo Stakes, which is basically the Florida Derby nowadays. And this happened.
March of '77.
Jetski and Fort Prevail. As they move to the clubhouse turn, Wine Treasure on the rails. Seattle Slew alongside, now moving to get the lead. Jetski is third. On the outside, Ruthie's Native moves up fourth. Sir is fifth. Papalote is sixth. Caviar Kid seventh. Iron Constitution is eighth. Fort Prevail ninth. On the outside, Coin Silver is 10th. Ghibli is 11th. True Statement and Macho Hombre. They straighten away for the run down the backstretch at Seattle Slew by a length and a half. Wine Treasure is second. Ruthie's Native a half a length on the outside third. Jansky is fourth. The gap at 3 lengths. Papalote is fifth. Caviar Kid sixth. Sir seventh. Coin Silver on the outside is eighth. Iron Constitution is ninth. Fort Prevail is 10th. Ghibli on the outside 11th. Macho Hombre. And the trailer is True Statement. They move to the far turn. Seattle Slew shows the way by 4 lengths. Wine Treasure second. Ruthie's Native is third. Jets.
I mean, look at his time right here. He's jogging. This is another work for him.
I was gonna say, is he cantering right now?
Yeah, I mean, watching one of the greatest things ever is coming up when you watch this, and I'll stop it on it. It's pretty.
Keep fourth. Caviar Kid fifth. Papalote sixth. Coin Silver on the outside is seventh. Between horses, Fort Prevail is eighth. Now as they come to the quarter pole, it's Seattle Slew opening up 12 lengths on the field. They move to the top of the stretch.
Now 109, which I believe was the track record at that time for 6 furlongs. Jogging and going much longer.
It's Seattle Slew by himself by 12 lengths. It's Ghibli.
Now, okay, one of the greatest things ever. It's right there. Look, there's a horse race behind him.
Look at that.
He's not in it. What a great shot.
Coming on second as they turn for home. It's Seattle Slew in front by 8 lengths. Ghibli second. Fort Prevail moving on the outside is third. As they come to the wire, it's Seattle Slew in front by 6. Ghibli second. It's Fort Prevail in the center of the track third. They come to the wire. It's Seattle Slew going away easily by 5 lengths.
Third fastest time in that race, and he walked home. I mean, unbelievable. And now, obviously, this horse is going to the Derby. I mean, how could we not think he's on his way? He's got another race to go, but he was a favorite in every race he's run. This makes sense. How are you not how are people against this horse? Unbelievable. Let's move on. Slew was then shipped to Aqueduct. The third and final prep was to be the Gotham Stakes on April 9th. This would have been his third start in 1 month, but William Turner, the trainer of Seattle Slew, did not want this after heavy rains deemed the track unusable and the coltwood could not work out properly. So instead, Slew was entered into the Wood Memorial on April 23rd. And here's how that went.
It is now post time. And the last horse for Telloed moves into line. We're ready for the start of the Wood Memorial. 1 mile and an eighth, and they're off. And on the inside, Iron Constitution going for the early lead. Catalan from between horses. Seattle Slew is right there for Telloed on the outside. And Winterlock moves through to the rail. Around the clubhouse turn, Seattle Slew gets the lead. On the outside, Telloed is second by 1. Along the rail, Winterlock third by a head. Catalan is alongside in fourth position.
He just made that lead like almost looking like he was jogging. Like just came out like he wasn't even working him. And right there, look at the stride. Like, amazing.
It's like the size. It's like the size of you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, at least. And I'm not small. Yeah.
The gap of 2 lengths to Iron Constitution 5th. That Papalote racing 6th, and Sanhedrin is 7th as they move to the backstretch. Seattle Slew has the lead by a length, and that's for Telloed on the outside, 2nd by a half. Winterlock along the rail, 3rd by a length and 3/4. Catalan is racing 4th by 2. Iron Constitution 5th ahead. Papalote is 6th, and far back Sanhedrin. They continue down the backstretch, and it's Seattle Slew in front by a head. For Telloed on the outside to challenge. Now there's stride for stride. For Telloed on the outside, Seattle Slew along the rail. 1 length farther back. Winterlock racing in 3rd position by 2 1/4 lengths. Catalan is 4th, a length and a half. Iron Constitution is next. Papalote on the outside, and far back Sanhedrin. Around the far turn, Seattle Slew now takes the lead by a length.
Why do these horses keep doing this to him every time? Like, you might want to just try to catch him at the wire because you cannot pull up on the side of this horse. He has another gear that we don't see. Like, he does not want to let a horse go by him. It's almost like he's different. He was different.
For Telloed, 2nd, and Winterlock on the inside, 3rd. Iron Constitution 4th along the rail. Catalan is 5th. Papalote is 6th, and Sanhedrin 7th as they turn for home. 1/4 mile to the finish. Seattle Slew has the lead by 2 1/4 lengths. It's Winterlock racing 2nd. Iron Constitution on the rail 3rd. Sanhedrin's gaining ground on the far outside. A furlong to the finish. Seattle Slew has the.
I love how they say gaining ground on the outside, and he's really not gaining any ground. He's just passing the other horses behind him.
Gaining ground to finish 2nd.
And those fractions, it wasn't like he was blazing. I mean, he's so in hand that you got to know he's going to win here. Like, it's not even a question. Just how much and how much he's going to use.
Lead by 5 lengths. That's Sanhedrin on the outside. Now 2nd, Papalote and Catalan. Past the 70-yard mark, and it's Seattle Slew in front. With Jean Couget aboard, Seattle Slew wins the Wood Memorial by 3 lengths.
I just want to say, I think that the Billy Turner's decision, like you mentioned before, not going in the Gotham is probably one of the most underrated, best calls in horse racing history. That's almost forgotten about because Slew loses at the Gotham because of how the course is. We're not sitting here talking about him right now.
Yeah, it's really weird because I thought of that, but then I thought to myself also that, that Gotham was like a 2-week turnaround or whatever it was. It was really, really close. But then the Derby is like a 2-week turnaround back then after the Wood. I think it was, if it comes out to be, if that was run, which I believe on April 9th, April 23rd, first Saturday in May, 2 weeks, 2-week turnaround.
Wow.
So, 6 of one, half dozen of another. You go to the Wood, you're running more of a gauntlet for the Triple Crown. And we'll get into a little bit of how this horse was because he was an edgy horse that would overwork and everything like that. So, but I mean, whatever it was the right move. We all know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
It's time for the Derby, where the owners set up a camper opposite of the Colts stall in Barn 42. This stall is traditionally houses the favorites for the Kentucky Derby, with one of the owners' father acting as chief bodyguard for the colt because the stream of fans were constantly trying to see the one and the only Seattle Slew. Slew Mania was real. It's now Derby Day, and our boy is coming off a bad work the Sunday before the big race and forced to run a 3-furlong blowout a day before the big race due to the rain canceling his Thursday work. His 3-furlong work the day before the Derby was running 34-2. I think he was ready. Let's watch the Derby.
Head of the stretch for the moment. Seattle Slew still battling it out together. And here's Run Dusty Run now closing ground and moving into third. It's Seattle Slew, however, that takes it over at the head of the stretch. Seattle Slew moving away. Now opens 2.5. Run Dusty Run driving up on the outside into second. Steve's friend. Here's Sanhedrin now closing also along the inside. Coming to the wire. Seattle Slew opens it to 4 lengths. At the finish, it's going to be Seattle Slew, and he's going along easily. He wins it by about 2 lengths. Run Dusty Run is second. Sanhedrin in third. Then it was very tight for fourth between Steve.
It's almost like
Well executed.
yeah, it was a fantastic ride. It's almost like he just didn't want, like, it was just over. Like, he was like, okay, enough playing games. I'll see you guys later. Like, this was fun.
He knew the exact time on that final turn. That move was beautifully executed, and just okay. See everybody.
Yeah, and it looks like every time he comes on the stretch so far, they're all in a race. He's not. It's almost like you see a horse race behind it, jockeys working, whipping, and there's just a horse in front. Just let's go. Like, I mean, what a superstar! What a superstar!
Yeah,
so now,
all right. Well, I'm having fun with you guys. I'm having fun. See ya.
Yeah. So now we're going, and he wins at Churchill, and that must have made him terribly mad that poor people own the horse. Well, poor people to them own the horse. It must have been awful. They must have hated it.
They set up a camper.
Oh my God. They must have hated it.
Camper.
All the elitists that know so much about horse racing. Because it matters how much money you made. Remember what I always say. You'd be the dumb person in the meeting room, but yet if especially in horse racing, but if you win the lotto that night, the next day in the board meeting, you're the smartest guy in the room, but you're the same guy, and that's horse racing. So if anybody wants to follow along with that,
it's just like the loudest guy isn't always right. Sometimes it's the guy in the corner looking at his program who's it's not the guy.
Just because you made money in something doesn't make you smart at everything. I mean, let's just put it out there,
Exactly. And this is again, I think we need to get Fantac to make Slew Mania shirts. I sport one.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm surprised. I mean, I didn't really know what was going on then, but I'm surprised. I mean, this got to be crazy now. I mean, because how winning the Derby, to me, obviously the Belmont's the longest, and I'm sure they've had the same thing with him. Can he go the distance? Can he go the distance? Preakness, to me, no brainer. Like, he was like 1 to 10 in one of these races.
Nope.
But Preakness is no brainer. But we're gonna find out.
You're exactly right.
Yeah, and we're gonna find out in a second that it wasn't truly a no-brainer. So let's check it out. It was now time for the second jewel at the Preakness, run at 1 3/16 miles. This should be an easier win for the speedster, but many people, including Andrew Beyer, picked Cormorant to win in his Washington Post column. Other highly rated contenders were J.O. Tobin, the English champion 2-year-old colt of the year in 1976, and Iron Constitution, who earlier had won the Withers Stakes. Fresh horses, another 2-year-old horse of the year, and lots of speed. Then this happened.
Counterpunch along the inside. They race to the clubhouse turn. It's Seattle Slew along the inside. Cormorant coming on. The battle head into the turn. They swing around the clubhouse turn. It's Seattle Slew on the outside. Cormorant along the rail. His match strides as they swing around the turn. Hey, JP on the outside. Along the rail, it's Counterpunch. Then it's Regal Sir. Way on the outside, Run Dusty Run. J.O. Tobin. The gap of 3 more lengths. Iron Constitution. And it's Sir. They go to the backstretch.
Don't do it, horse. Don't do it. Don't get caught in this duel. We know how this ends up. We just know. Like you're playing right into his hands. Like you think you're going to rabbit him. You are not.
Just Cormorant along the rail. On the outside, Seattle Slew, they match strides. They continue down the stretch. Cormorant now takes a slight lead. Seattle Slew on the outside second. A gap of 5 lengths. Up on the outside, Run Dusty Run coming on with Hey JP. Along the inside, it's Iron Constitution. Closing.
Now, did you notice the 45 and 3 that went up there? Like, what horse could withstand that?
Yeah, and I got something. I'll say it after the race, but yeah, I got something to say on that.
On the leaders, they go to the half-mile pole. It's Cormorant now by half a length. On the outside, it's Seattle Slew in second place. Along the inside, Iron Constitution, 4 lengths in the turn. Seattle Slew has taken over the lead by a length. Cormorant along the rail is second. Iron Constitution is third. J.O. Tobin is fourth. They come to the top of the stretch with a quarter of a mile to go. It's Seattle Slew, Iron Constitution rallying on the outside along with J.O. Tobin. A 16th of a mile to run. It's Seattle Slew, Iron Constitution charging on the outside. Coming on to the finish. Seattle Slew in front by 2 lengths.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Hold on.
let's, I mean, how would you not? I mean, I know there's going to be the naysayers out there probably at the time that were like, oh, when he goes longer in the Belmont, did he look like he was tired at the end? Sure, a horse was gaining on him because he stopped
He wanted
running.
to do it again.
Yeah, he basically stopped.
He wanted to go again.
But how? I mean, he went off 2 to 5, almost a steal at 2 to 5 in that race. Like, I don't get it.
Sure.
I don't get it. But yeah, so you had something to say about, you were going to say something after the race, Tom. What were you going to say?
No, just with that race and even the races at Hialeah, the numbers, the fractions that Seattle Slew was up, and we got to think again. It's 1970. We're in 2022 when these tracks are just cushioned. The turf, the dirt. It's beautifully manicured. The dirt's great. It's run over after every race. 1977, they're basically like running on concrete. And look at the numbers that Slew is putting up.
Yeah, and actually on that note, it was actually the track was considered a dead track that day, and what they used to call the dead track. They probably don't use that word anymore, but it was a slow track that day, and he's running a 154 and 2 for final time. Like, are you kidding me? Which I think at the time before they redid secretariats, I think was the record.
Oh, right.
I'm not positive about that, but it was.
Yep, you're
at least
right. I believe
very close. But considering a slow track, and it's not like he worked the whole time. But I mean, these horses would just try to sprint with him, and talk about a horse that just did not. Horses can't rate, oh, he can't rate. He didn't want to. He needed to be in the lead because he wanted it. Come run with me as fast as you can,
that got me thinking,
as long as you can, and we'll see if you can beat me. That was it. That was it.
Well, I got another research project. We're going to be looking at those horses, seeing who the trainers were, and be like, what did you tell your jockey to do here? Because you should not have told him to try to, like, you should not have told him to run.
Well, I think the jockey, I think the other horses were like, well, there's going to be some horse that's crazy enough, or trainer that's crazy enough, or jockey, to send him, and I'll pick up the pieces because it's going to go so fast. And then you realize when you're trying to gain, I'm not gaining on him. So how do you beat him besides trying to wear him out? Like, if I'm on there, I'm like, hopefully he gets in this massive speed duel and maybe I can catch him. But it didn't work that way for anybody. It really didn't.
No.
So now here we are.
Let's see if he can go long.
Yeah. Let's see him go a little longer. Here we are. Seattle Slew arrived in New York to capture the Triple Crown. The 1977 Belmont Stakes was run on June 11th on a muddy track before a crowd of over 70,000 people against 8 rivals. Turner arrived with Slew late in the paddock to be saddled, due in part to the number of cars parked in the backstretch, as well as his desire to limit the colt's exposure to the enthusiastic crowd. This is how Seattle Slew was. Turner was fined, and Sally Hill later said, "We paid the fine. They weren't going to start the race without him." And they didn't. And then he made history by doing this.
And they're off. For the lead on the inside now, Seattle Slew goes for the lead. He has the lead as they move through the stretch. Up on the outside, it's Sanhedrin along the inside. Run, Dusty, Run on the extreme outside. Spirit Level is moving up. They move for the first turn with Spirit Level on the extreme outside, and Seattle Slew along the rail. Then it's Run, Dusty, Run alongside Sanhedrin, followed by Mr. Red Wing, then Make Amends, Sir, and Iron Constitution. They're moving on the turn. Seattle Slew by a half length. Spirit Level is second by 2. Run, Dusty, Run is third by a half. Sanhedrin is fourth by 2.5. Then Mr. Red Wing is fifth by 3 lengths. Make Amends is alongside Sir, and the final horse is Iron Constitution.
Now here comes a horse that's going to come and try to challenge him. And we know what's going to happen, Tom.
Yeah.
Let's watch this horse trying to split the horses and come challenge him. We already know how this is going to work out. I mean, this is just what it is.
They've gone the first quarter of a mile, 24 and 3.5 and 48 and 2 with Seattle Slew now to receive a challenge on the outside. It's Seattle Slew on the inside. Run, Dusty, Run and Spirit Level have both moved up alongside. It's Seattle Slew holding on out.
Seattle Slew was like, "Oh, hell no. Hell no. You ain't running with me."
And now he pulls away to a length again. Spirit Level is second ahead, and Run, Dusty, Run is third. A gap of 4 back, and it's Sanhedrin in fourth. Mr. Red Wing is fifth. Then it's Iron Constitution moving to sixth. Sir, and Make Amends. 3/4 of a mile in 1:14. They're moving on the turn.
He's crawling for him. He's crawling. Yeah. They tried your route, Tom. They tried a different route. They said, let's let him relax, and then we'll all chase him. Well, I guess that was a thing. Like, let's not him set the fractures. Let's let him walk in the lead and maybe catch him sleeping in the stretch, I guess, right?
Still Seattle Slew, and he has it by 2. Run, Dusty, Run and Spirit Level are battling together, second and third. Beginning to close a bit, Sanhedrin is fourth and closer. Mr. Red Wing is fifth. Iron Constitution in a furious drive is driving along the rail. They're coming on the turn with Seattle Slew still the leader. Seattle Slew, 1 mile and 1:38 and 4/5 now leads by a half. Still on the outside now, Sanhedrin has taken over. Then it's Run, Dusty, Run, swinging to the extreme outside. Iron Constitution in the stretch. Here he comes, and he's opening it up again. It's Seattle Slew, and he's drawing clear of the field. Seattle Slew has 4 lengths on Run, Dusty, Run. It's Run, Dusty, Run in second, and Sanhedrin third. They're nearing the finish line. It's still Seattle Slew, and he's opened it out to 4.5. Then Run, Dusty, Run and Sanhedrin.
Greatest thing is him putting his arm up before the wire. Now, we all
know what could happen.
If you bet on Seattle Slew in any of the races we've watched in his 3 years so far, were you ever worried about your bet? You know, I mean, those
Great
fractions.
For the folks watching.
Yeah, leave a comment below. Would you have been worried, even with those fractions? Even when you saw that horse make a move a couple times, you're like, oh, somebody's going to swing. Oh, look at this horse coming. He can't keep this up. And then by halfway through the stretch, it was a no-doubter. It's like he never was challenged.
No. One thing I noticed watching that is we had 3, at least 3 or 4 different horses running the second. Run, Dusty, Run, Mr. Red Wing, a couple other ones. It just proved case to point. They wore themselves out, and
they must have hated him so much.
Just got it.
You know that feeling when you just can't catch that guy? Like, man, it's terrible. Like when you're just not fast enough. Like, oh my God. They
Yeah.
must have hated him. They must have hated him. I feel like he was a jerk just because. And he deserved to be.
Well, because $7,500. He's we're
Chip on his
afraid.
shoulder guy.
But you know what? You know it's cool. It's a cool thing about Seattle Slew. I love my random facts. He's the only Belmont winner that sired a Belmont winner, AP Indy, that sired a Belmont winner, rags to riches. It's kind of
Interesting. Nice lineage, grandfather.
Yes, as long as we're talking about the Belmont.
Good genes in that family. Good genes. Especially at the Belmont.
Apparently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is 1977, and we have our Triple Crown winner. Very exciting for the people. This is a great story. Obviously, we get another one the next year. It's so, we had one with Secretariat, the greatest horse of all time. I don't even know if it's arguably. I mean, I'd say most people would say that. So you kind of get lost here a little bit with this happening. But what a great story. You got to be happy for him showing up late, him just coming out and they were no-brainers, these races, much like Secretariat. And what a great horse. But we have to finish up the year because we're doing 1977. So it's not all about the Triple Crown, Tom. So we have to show his last race in 1977. After winning the Triple Crown, Seattle Slew was sent to Hollywood Park, which did everything they could to lure the Triple Crown winner to California only 3 weeks after the Belmont by increasing the purse for the swap stakes to over $300,000 on July 3rd. And this is what the race looked like.
Leo Tobin is going to the front. Seattle Slew is second. Affiliate third on the inside. Text is fourth. Mr. Gus fifth. Mr. Red Wing sixth. And White Sprite trails. Coming by the stand the first time, it's J.O. Tobin in front by 2.5 lengths. Seattle Slew is second by 2 lengths. Affiliate third by a head.
Now I know he's done here if I'm watching this race. This isn't the same horse.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not. I mean, don't get me wrong, 22-2, like, okay. 22-1. But yeah, still, it's just not the same horse.
Would not have a horse
by 3 or 4 months. Minnesota Gas is fifth, then Mr. Red Wing and White Sprite. Around the first turn, it's J.O. Tobin in front by 2.5 lengths. Seattle Slew is second on the rail by a head. Tex third by 5 lengths. Affiliate fourth by 2 lengths. Minnesota Gus is fifth, then Mr. Red Wing and White Sprite. Turning into the backstretch, it's J.O. Tobin in front by 1 length. Tex is second by a head. Seattle Slew third by 10 lengths. Affiliate fourth, then Minnesota Gus, Mr. Red Wing and White Sprite. Down the backstretch, it's J.O. Tobin in front by 2 lengths. Seattle Slew is second on the inside by a neck. Tex third by 8 lengths. Then
that's the hardest I've ever seen that jockey working him so far. Like, he's just, I mean, let's look at like 109. I mean, this horse is flying. Don't get me wrong, but you can just tell. And I like the announcer. So we'll go on.
Affiliate Mr. Red Wing and Minnesota Gus. Around the far turn is J.O. Tobin in front by 3 lengths. Seattle Slew is second by a half length. Tex third by 8 lengths. Then Affiliate of Minnesota Gus. Turning for home, it's still J.O. Tobin out in front, and he's widening. J.O. Tobin by 5 lengths. Tex is now second, 3/4 of a length. Seattle Slew third, and Affiliate is closing much ground. Into the stretch, it's J.O. Tobin in front by 6 lengths. Tex to second by a head. Affiliate third by 3, and Seattle Slew is dropping back. Right. Seattle Slew is well beaten. It's J.O. Tobin out in front by 8 lengths. J.O. Tobin, Affiliate on the outside, and Tex, and J.O. Tobin is the winner by 8.5 lengths. Affiliate second, a nose, with Tex finishing third by 6 lengths.
158. See that? Ridiculous time. Great run
too
by
quick,
that horse.
too quick to
Was it?
come
Well,
back.
not even, well, when you think about it, when we talked about these, so we just went over what? We just went over what? 6 races in the course of what? 3 months?
Yeah.
I mean, that was what
Would never
Triple
be done
Crown
today.
winner would ever run 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks after winning the gauntlet of the Triple Crown. Mind you, ran a race 2 weeks before he started the Triple Crown pace. The most time he had off is because he missed the Wood, which we talked about before, the Gotham, I'm sorry, and went to the Wood. So you're looking at a horse that ran
Yeah.
2 times every month for 3 months. I mean, and went over there. But there's more to the story, Tom. And I think this guy will tell you right here. Seattle Slew may have went a little too Hollywood. It is reported that he was sedated repeatedly to be used in a Xerox advertising campaign for a new X-ray machine, then was sedated again during the flight to California. Turner believed that this was the reason for the poor effort in the swap stakes, despite the disappointing loss at Hollywood Park. Seattle Slew was named Champion 3-Year-Old of the Year and American Horse of the Year, barely beating the legendary Forgo in that category at the annual Eclipse Awards. So, Tom, it's kind of crazy because you think about it, even with the 3, he was on an ad campaign. He barely had time to even rest. And he was doing an ad campaign.
It reminds me of Rocky 3 when Rocky was going all Hollywood, getting his pictures and everything, and then he loses to
in the bag. Yeah. I mean,
yes. So he did. So maybe Seattle Slew did get a little quote unquote Hollywood, like you said.
Well, yeah. I mean, it when I read that, I'm thinking to myself, and he's doing the Xerox campaign for a new X-ray machine, which is crazy to hear now.
Can you imagine doing something like that today?
No, that's what I mean. You imagine
if
you took Justify. No, I can't imagine him running 3 weeks later. Not to mention putting a horse through traveling to do a photo shoot and running 3 weeks later. Made no sense. But the way he ran, I just think they got cocky and being like, hey, listen, we don't need to be our best and we'll still win. But the 2-year-old horse of the year from England had a different story. I mean, he just 158 and 2.
Gave it his all every.
Yeah, I mean, it's
gave it his
what
all
a
every
great
single race.
Yeah, what a great horse, Tom. What a great story. I appreciate Seattle Slew in 1977, and hopefully, and let us know down below in the comments what you guys think if you're around, then watching it. If you're watching for the first time, tell me a horse you think, are we wrong? You think, whatever. I think proof's in the pudding. We showed you what he did. We will do more. I know, we'll talk about some things, I'm sure, but about his 2-year-old year and his later year when we do a whole documentary about him, and it'll be a good time and everything. But what a horse. He did. He came back and 2 Triple Crown winners running against each other. Would we ever see that again?
No.
I mean, you think Pharaoh and Justify could have, right? I mean, Pharaoh would have had to be around for a while, but it was possible. But no, we'll never see that again. I mean, we might not ever see a Triple Crown winner again. So 2 of them running against each other, you're going to really need back-to-backs nowadays.
As soon as they're going to put him out to put him or her out to stud.
You would need a gelding to win the first one, and then they meet in the Classic after the next year somebody wins.
Yeah,
that's what you would need. That would be the recipe for it. The only recipe for it would be that. Other than that, never going to happen. But Slew Mania, the non-elitist horse that now, I know I'm a broken record with this, but horse racing, shame on you all the time. Your entertainment revolves around the rich kid, and that's what you do. If I see another story about rich kids that bought a horse, I'm going to throw up. And we haven't grown when it comes to that. The fact that they knocked Seattle Slew and they could have embraced him to be the everyman. Once again, I'm done with the sport of the kings. I want it to be the sport of the people. And that's it.
Well, and that's exactly what Slew was. And just even looking at some clips on YouTube, just it literally brought people together. Like not making a bunch of money because the horse, it was so favorite, but it's like it was just like a thing, like a popular thing. Yeah, I'm going to make a couple dollars. I'm not going to get rich, but it was this connection that the whole racing community had, which we'll never see again.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people get mad at me for saying this or don't agree with this, but I would rather watch a 1 to 10 shot like he was and be there to watch that horse's greatness in person and appreciate him rather than hitting a 12 to 1 shot in a maiden claiming race in the middle of the day. Okay.
Well,
sorry, guys.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Oh, you're a chalk eater. You know what? No, I like to see greatness.
And there's not, yeah, he was great. So let us know below, definitely, in your comments below, if you're around, if you remember another horse you want us to do a time machine about, a time period, because we are doing things that are just straight time periods for the time machine. We're doing other things coming up that will be, you know, things about the careers. But the time machine, this was 1977, and what a good time for horse racing. You had a great Secretariat a few years before. Then you get Seattle Slew. You know, I mean, what a cool time.
Stands. Like, even look at the stands of those 2 Hialeah races. We're packed. We're packed with people.
And we don't. And Hialeah is not even a track now.
No. But yeah, it's fun, and that's why we go back in time. Randy and I are going to be doing a few more of these. We have a couple in the shoot here, but anybody has a period they want us to talk about, we'll talk about it. Just drop us a comment. Randy doesn't know how to use Twitter, but shoot me a message on Twitter.
It's true.
and let us know, because we like doing this. We like doing this
and honestly,
bring the sport back to where it used to be. It used to be a beautiful thing, and now it's not. We're trying to just tell everybody how great it once was.
The negativity and the crybabies, and it's just infuriating. But no, but I mean, and some of the comments we've had before on our show have led me to learn so much. So I appreciate the people that are bringing up horses that I forgot or I didn't even know. I didn't. I don't know everything. I'm learning every day. And, you guys are the ones that keep this going. And we'd like to keep doing it for you. So just, do us a favor and, like, subscribe and share it with your friends, because we want to keep doing this. We want to move up the ladder so our stuff gets out there to more people, because we don't really make anything off of this, but we're trying to bring the sport to people. And the more we do, I think this is the easiest way. They can put DJ Marshmallow in the infield all they want, but the more history we teach and have fun and entertain the younger crowd and even the people that maybe lost it for horse racing, that's how we're going to get more people in the track. That's what it is.
And that's all we're trying.
What we can do. It's all we bring to the table, guys.
Yeah, no. We're not screaming out 3, 4, 5. And it's not about that.
No, we need to learn the history. We need to appreciate it. We need to have fun doing it and make it entertaining. Because if it's just 3, 4, 5, as soon as you're out of your $6, you're out. Who cares about the game? We care about the game to make this game bigger. Share, like, subscribe, just so we can just push all of our agendas.
We're filming another one soon, guys. So get used to it.
Yeah, so that's it. 1977. I wish I had a little more of a butterfly collar, but I tried.
Yeah.
I could have worn my old velour suit, but that's
probably still
New York. Yeah, absolutely. But thank you so much, Seattle Slew, 1977. That run, incredible. Maybe one day we'll have somebody on that was a connection with them.
The forgotten champion.
Yeah, the forgotten champion. Thanks so much for watching, guys.
Till next time.
And see you soon.